Hello, everyone. I am bringing this to you live at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. Welcome to Weather Impact Live. You might be watching this on repeat, but whether you're watching this at 3 p.m. or 11 a.m., the weather story is the same. It's hot out there, and unfortunately we have dangerous heat, and so that means that we do have a weather impact alert in effect because heat index values soaring up to 111 today. In fact, take a look outside. It looks like a great day to get outside. Not seeing any of these thunderstorms popping up just yet, but look at those temperatures on your screen. Already at 90 degrees in Neptune Beach, and then it gets a whole lot worse when you add in the humidity. There are your heat index values. Whew. Bad. So, what we're talking about today mainly is the heat. We will have a few storms around. Tomorrow, we have another weather impact alert, and that is 4 storms. Today's for heat, tomorrow's 4 storms. So, currently at 11 a.m., yes, a lot of spots already getting into the 90s. And so, if you're going to the pool to cool down, I do recommend a pool, but again, we'll have to watch out for those feels like temperatures, those storms as well. For the feels like temperatures, that's why we're jumping in the pool. Storms, though, could be around. Here's a look at our current heat index values right now. Already feeling like the triple digits for a lot of us across the First Coast. High temperatures today, getting up into the upper 90s. A lot of us soaring right into the upper 90s. Those of you closer to the beaches, you'll be in the low to middle 90s, but no matter where you are, we're all experiencing that dangerous heat. And so as mentioned, that means we have a weather impact alert in effect. It's really for the heat advisory. We line it up with that. And with the dangerous heat index values, feels like temperatures. So as mentioned, when we have highs in the middle and upper 90s, with the humidity out there today, it's feeling like 108 to 111 degrees. So we have to stay hydrated. We have to take breaks in the AC or the shade, because if we don't properly hydrate and cool down, that can lead to heat illness. So there's a look at your heat advisory for most of the First Coast. Heat advisory starts at noon. It goes all the way until 7 p.m. So let's take a quick look at the signs and the differences between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And it's something to remember not only for yourself, but to look out for others too when we are at the pool or at the beach or at the park or the farmer's market, whatever you may be doing outside, yard work especially, any sort of exercise outside. So heat exhaustion means we're feeling faint or dizzy. Heat stroke is a throbbing headache. We will have excessive sweating with heat exhaustion, but with heat stroke, we're not sweating anymore. It's bad. We are so dehydrated, we're not sweating. With heat exhaustion, you have cool, pale, clammy skin, and then with heat stroke, your skin starts getting hot and dry and red. You have a body temperature of above 103 degrees. Now, both heat exhaustion and heat stroke can have nausea and vomiting. Now, you'll have a rapid, weak pulse with heat exhaustion, but a rapid, strong pulse with heat stroke. So if the pulse is hard to find, it's likely heat exhaustion. But if you see someone who looks like they're about to pass out, and you can feel their pulse strongly, that's a bad sign, heat stroke. So remember, heat stroke is the one that's a bit more dangerous than heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion has muscle cramps. Heat stroke, you may straight up lose consciousness, or someone else may lose consciousness. And so that is extremely dangerous. You have to call 911 if someone is, or even you are experiencing heat stroke. Take immediate action. Do not give them water. If you're passing out, you could choke. You can't drink water if you're experiencing heat stroke, because you may lose consciousness. But heat exhaustion, once you're in a cool, once you're in a cool spot, like in the shade, in the AC, and you're starting to cool down, you can take tiny little sips of water to try to help your body get hydrated again. So just something to keep an eye out for as we're at the pool or the beach today. If you're going to the beach, I assume you're going to jump in the water to try to cool down. Please always swim in front of a lifeguard. We have a moderate risk of rip currents today with the high temperature, again, at the beaches in the low to middle 90s, but your heat index values are going to be back in the triple digits. So very hot, very humid. Winds this morning out of the southwest will shift to come out of the southeast in the afternoon, 5 to 10 miles an hour. So not much of a breeze to provide relief from all of that heat. Now, what could provide relief from the heat? Rain. storms. We could have a few showers and storms today. They will be scattered, maybe popping up right around 2 o'clock, but more active by 3 to 4 o'clock. And not everyone will see the rain. Models this morning have really been favoring more of the I-95 corridor out to the coast. So that's the area that we'll really watch, especially since people might be out of the beaches there. But through the afternoon and evening hours, scattered showers and storms. Oop, jumped ahead too fast. I also want to show that overnight tonight, we might have another wave of storms, especially for southeast Georgia, moving on through. Then we head into our Sunday, and we'll have more numerous showers and thunderstorms, and some of those storms could be strong to severe. So we have a weather impact alert in effect for this. The numerous storms, with some of them having the potential to become strong or severe, so you'll have a better chance of seeing rain. Here's another look at that and just going over those weather impact alert parameters. Strong to severe storms possible. So the weather impact alert starts at 2 p.m. and we carry it all the way until 9 p.m. because some models have shown later activity still, but just something to keep in mind, really by 2 p.m., make sure you have that shelter nearby, you know where you're going, because strong to severe storms possible. It means if you hear thunder, you have to get inside quickly. So you have to keep your shelter nearby you if you were outside, or just come up right now with an indoor backup plan. And please continue to stay weather aware on your Sunday. Some of these storms could have wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. That causes damage to roofs, to sidings. It can knock over tree limbs. That can create some power outages. And it also will contain frequent lightning and blinding rain, blinding heavy downpours. So that weather impact alert is in effect from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. Please continue to stay weather aware on your Sunday. Now on Monday, we'll have a few showers around, but rain chances are lower. And I need to change this because this says 93, but I actually did bump up the high to 94 degrees. There we go. So we're back in the middle 90s on Monday, and then those temperatures are going to continue to climb from there. So rain chances are a bit lower, and we're going to see the heat increase. You know, this is the hottest time of year, but even with the hottest time of year, our high is 92 degrees. So these temperatures are warmer than normal. Hotter than normal temperatures, dangerous heat. We could have some heat advisories again issued by Tuesday and Wednesday when our highs are back in the upper 90s. So just wild out there. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. So again, we have 2 weather impact alerts in effect this weekend. It does not mean that you have to cancel your outdoor plans, because today it's for the heat. You just have to stay hydrated. You have to stay cool. And we do have those scattered showers and thunderstorms around, so keep shelter nearby and keep an eye on the sky. Sunday, more of us will see rain and storms, and some of those storms could be strong to severe. That's why we have that weather impact alert in effect. Then we're drier Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures climb back up from the middle 90s back into the upper 90s, and then we just stay in the middle 90s for the rest of the work week. So it's going to stay brutally hot through the upcoming week. Quick check on the tropics. Good news for us here. No tropical formation is expected in the next 7 days. So if you're cruising this upcoming work week, looks okay, looks good. Keep those tropical plans. So yeah, no tropical formation expected right now over the next 7 days. But remember that we are now entering the last week of July. And so from here, our hurricane frequency will go up. Let me see if I can quickly find this for you all. There we go. So now, it being July 25th, by the time we're in August, so that's next weekend, you can see how it's really spiked by August 1st. So really starting to climb as we go through August. So although, thank goodness, no tropical formation expected in the next 7 days, I don't know how long that's going to last for the next couple of weeks, because we're getting closer and closer to that peak of season, which is September 10th. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. So we just talked about how no tropical formation is expected in the next 7 days, but we just got through with Bertha. Take a look at this video. This shows heavy rainfall and flooding in Houston, Texas. This was taken on Thursday, and it's all from what was then Tropical Depression Bertha. So Bertha, of course, weakened after its landfall in Louisiana, but it still definitely impacted parts of Texas too. Again, this is out of Houston. They saw heavy rain, and some parts of Houston did see flooding. All right, we're going to skip out of the United States and, well, technically not. We're going to go to South Florida first and talk about Venezuela. So 1 month ago, two powerful earthquakes devastated parts of Venezuela. In the weeks since the disaster, more than 5,000 people have died and thousands more are displaced. But for many families, unfortunately, recovery is just now beginning. So the Global Empowerment Mission is in Doral, Florida, and it hasn't slowed down their efforts to help those in need. Let's take a listen.
Well, this is a massive warehouse. Just take a look around and see how busy it is. Boxes are being packed. Pellets are still heading out. And Jem says more than 3 million pounds of aid has made it from here to Venezuela, where we have learned the road to recovery is far from over. And for many, this mission is personal. Urgency inside this Doral warehouse where help is heading to Venezuela.
You have to put yourself in their shoes. They lost everything.
It's been 1 month, but the destruction is still fresh in the mind of Miami firefighter Chris Diaz. He helped lead a search and rescue mission after the deadly double earthquakes.
What I'm left with is an incredible respect and a deep found appreciation for the human resilience of the Venezuelan people who were there digging, bare hands, limited resources.
He saw the damage up close and heard from the families living through it. More than 5,000 people have died and thousands more either injured, displaced, or both.
This is a long-term response, which is why we have to really emphasize the importance of donations.
And some of the first rounds of help from the U.S. came from a group of pilots. In Spanish, he tells me he broke down and cried when they landed. He learned multiple family members and childhood friends were killed in the quakes, but continued his mission for relief. And thanks to pilots like him. More than 3 million pounds of emergency relief has already been moved from this warehouse to where it's needed on the ground.
We're at a very pivotal time because at the beginning, of course, there's so much aid, there's so much help, but after a while, 15 minutes of fame, people start forgetting, and we can't have that right now.
For Gem Rep and Venezuelan American Jorge Perez, this is personal. He says distributions are happening every day, and Gem is far from done.
What Gem is doing is not just providing, first care necessities, but temporary housing. Then we're going to step into the reconstruction of the city.
Wow, it's absolutely incredible work that they're doing. It's so important. So we have to remember Venezuela, still recovering. Okay, so let's lighten the mood a little bit. We'll see what you think about if this is light or not. A surge in bear sightings has happened this summer. From office lobbies to cars, even snoozing in basements. So this morning we've got some tips on what to do if you encounter a bear on a hiking trail or even in your own backyard. Yes, even Florida has some black bears around. So NBC's Kaylee Harting has more.
With the summer heating up, bears are getting bolder as sightings of the creatures are soaring nationwide. In Colorado,
I heard honking all night, thought it was a crazy neighbor, and it was just this guy sitting on the horn.
A neighbor helping the car's owner set the unexpected passenger free. While in California, this fellow apparently losing his bearings, making his way inside an office building.
We had the AC going, so it's probably, nice on a warm day.
A mama bear and her 4 cubs were caught on this home camera outside Pittsburgh.
They're fun to have around, just not in our yard.
Like the rest of us, it seems like they're trying to stay cool this summer, wherever they can. Colorado Parks and Wildlife say they've received almost 2,000 bear reports so far this year, nearly double the same time last year.
Why are we seeing this uptick in bear activity this year? I think the basic thing is people are spreading out, and their populations are increasing, and bears are becoming a little more bold.
Though some recent encounters on hiking trails have turned dangerous. One hiker had to be airlifted from Montana's Glacier National Park after being attacked by a large grizzly.
As soon as we made eye contact, it charged at me.
Bear sightings perhaps more expected in this remote Alaska town than in this family's front yard in a Los Angeles suburb.
If you see a bear, the worst thing you could do is scream, turn, and run. Raise your hands up, speak to the bear, say, "Hey, bear, back up." Give the bear some space.
Okay, well, that last bear was cute. I thought the bear in the car at the beginning of that story was cute too, but grizzly bear is terrifying. Okay, now it's time for a little space nerds segment for all my fellow space nerds. So SpaceX's Starship rocket was launched again Friday in its 13th test flight. The 407-foot rocket lifted off from SpaceX base in Texas, carrying 20 of the most advanced Starlinks. On its journey, the rocket ejected those Starlink satellites to communicate via lasers with older models already in orbit. 6 of those newly launched Starlinks were also sent up to photograph Starship's heat shield. SpaceX wants to make sure that the shield is able to withstand the heat of re-entry upon its return to the launch pad. Before Friday's successful launch, 6 of the 33 engines on the first stage booster were replaced. Previous test flights experienced engine trouble, preventing the boosters from making a controlled return. All engines fired for liftoff for this flight. However, some didn't reignite for re-entry, which caused the rocket to descend too fast and slam into the Gulf. So there's that video of the successful rocket launch. And then here's it trying to land. No!
And we're in the water.
Boom.
And it's a soft splashdown in the water. That is a first. That is the softest splashdown we have ever had with the Starship there in the Indian Ocean.
It's bound to be an exciting day for our recovery team. I mean, that huge milestone to even get to soft splashdown, much less have the vehicle stay afloat.
Yeah, the teams are super hyped here. Got some crowd here at Starbase Texas. Everyone's super excited. We never really get to see Starship floating so serenely in the Indian Ocean, so we're
down to 2. Starship
Floating.
descending into the Indian Ocean.
So serenely on fire. Okay. It cracks me up every time how they're always so excited and cheering while their product is literally on fire. But I know they're making advancements every time, but wow. So that test flight was originally scheduled for July 16th and then again July 23rd, but Bertha scrubbed that flight. So anyway, just new stuff there when it comes to space news. All right, we are going to take another quick break, and when you come back, it's time for Malcolm Minute.
anywhere you watch.
Okay, surprise. I had a jump scare there. Sorry. It's time for Malcolm Minute.
Yes. Glad to be back, guys.
Yes.
Keeping up the tradition.
Yeah, we love it. We love Malcolm Minute. How are you today on this
I'm
Saturday?
doing good. Doing pretty good. Can't complain.
I am... You just asked me a very good question about sand, and I'm trying to Google it. How about you tell the viewers what you want to talk about today?
So I think I said on last week's stream that I was going to the beach, like last weekend or like Monday, Tuesday. But I know we had like showers and everything, and it was just like kind of like, and I was busy myself, so I was like, yeah, I'll just pass it on to like another weekend. So I might go this weekend, and I was just asking Lee before we came back from break, like, if you guys obviously been to the beach before, just like how hot the sand is. So I wonder if it's like the same temperature as like the temperatures that were like feeling outside, like the dangerous heat and everything, or if it's like even hotter than like what the actual temperature is.
And you're so right, it's even hotter, which is crazy. And that's why we can actually burn the bottoms of our feet if we're like standing on that sand too long. So, you know, our temperature, in fact, actually, if you want to, Katrina, who's our amazing director in the background, always reading my mind. Thank you, Katrina. So our temperature is today in the low to middle 90s out at the beach. When it's 90 degrees outside, you know what? I want to make sure I read this correctly. So when it's 90 degrees, sand can exceed 120 degrees. And if it's in direct sunlight, which most of our beaches it is, it can reach up to 140 degrees.
Wow, sheesh.
So when you think your
That's
feet are burning, they are.
Yeah, no, literally, man. So like 30 or no, like 40, 50, like since you said if it's at 90.
Yeah, up to 50 degrees hotter.
That's crazy.
Man,
Yikes.
that's yeah. I don't know. What do you think about the rest of the forecast, though?
Yeah, despite, you know, just the scattered storms today, and then I know it's going to be nastier tomorrow.
Yeah, today's probably the better day to get out to the beach rather than tomorrow.
For sure, for sure.
And you know what I can show you? Like, I want to show the rain chances, because I think we absolutely can get out to the beach. We just have to keep an eye on the sky because it's so scattered, you know, we're like very hit or miss.
Right.
So this shows that maybe around 3, 4 o'clock, more of these thunderstorms start popping up. And they're near the I-95 corridor and kind of drift over to the beach. Then later in the evening, right now it looks like it's more of Nassau County and coastal southeast Georgia. But I really think it's just so scattered that it really depends. Now, more rain you see right there. Sunday, I think we have a higher chance of seeing rain at the beach.
Gotcha.
So would you go today, or would you do anything in tomorrow?
I think I'll, well, tomorrow afternoon. Well, no, it looks a little bad. Probably today, honestly. You're saying today will be the better beach day, so probably today.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, as long as we always say, like, have your indoor backup plans, you know, or have your shelter nearby. So we do have the weather impact alert tomorrow for storms, and some of those storms could be strong to severe.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to fool around with that.
Yeah. You know what you're reminding me, too, because you're talking about the sand? I think this is good to remind dog owners. Do you have a dog?
Ooh, I don't.
I don't either.
But
we can just let all of our fellow dog owners. Katrina, do you have a dog? No. Okay. What's Elise's dog's name? Izzy. All right, so his girlfriend has a dog.
Oh, okay.
This is for Izzy. So we have an air temperature around 95 today, even a little bit hotter, really between 95 and 100. And so the concrete out there is going to be closer to 140 degrees, just like the sand.
Yeah.
And then asphalt close to 155 degrees.
Man.
Sweltering hot.
Yeah, that is sweltering. Oh my God, that's brutal.
Brutal.
So yeah, man, just keep the pups, the dogs, everyone safe.
Yeah.
You know, like
you gotta stay safe. We all gotta stay safe and hydrated today.
Yes,
that's
for
some
sure.
brutal heat.
Seek that shade.
You know what's
for
also
sure.
brutal? Katrina's telling me that we're out of time.
Oh man.
Malcolm, Minute's over.
I know. It goes by so fast.
It does.